Welcome to the 6-Month Podcast. And today, we'll be interviewing the courtside reporters of Ateneo and NU. For Ateneo, introduce yourself and Jules, you can introduce yourself right after.
Okay, so hi everyone. I'm Rocio. I'm the courtside reporter for Ateneo, as Nico said, but I'm also their social media manager. So I wear two hats, but it also enabled me to really get to know the team because I follow them throughout the preseason. I was actually with them last night because we had a
Hmm.
Christmas party. And yeah, what
That's
about
a
you?
girl.
Jules?
Thanks, Rocio. Hi, everyone. My name is Jules Ysrael. I am the NU correspondent for season 86, and I'm happy to be here. Yeah.
So what are your courses? I think people will always assume that whenever it's CSR, you and Rocio are com, but is it communications?
Now. Now.
No, we're like now, but like even our other court sides, like one's a pre-med student, one's an industrial engineering student. So I think it depends talaga. But I'm a diplomacy and international relations student, and then I have a specialization in Southeast Asian studies. So when I graduate, I'll have not one but two diplomas.
Oh,
Yeah,
So
yeah, they do give that.
yeah,
so
yeah. If
so
you
it's not ano ID. Your minor is not ID. Information
no,
design.
even though graphic design is my passion.
As a manager.
As a manager.
How
Yeah.
about you, Jules?
I am taking up IT entrepreneurship in Ateneo. So I'm a fourth year now. And basically, it's tech and business. So if you know the K drama startup, it's essentially that. Like, we don't know how else to explain it. But yeah, I'm basically a tech and business student. And then I don't know how I found myself here, but more on that later. Oh,
Yes, more
keep
on
on
that later. I like
watching.
how.
Yeah.
So, given that your courses ibang-iba, right? What made you want to apply to becoming a CSR? Did people tell you? Kay Rocio, I kind of get like because of her social media presence, and actually me seeing her being with Ateneo during the summer. But yeah, we can first start with Rocio and then Jules. Let's do it that way, right? Rocio to
Yeah,
Jules,
yeah.
Rocio to
Like, let's
Jules.
just
Like
matter.
This is my
back and
first
forth.
time doing a
Yeah.
two-person interview. I just
Wala.
told the girls earlier, but knowing them, it's gonna be so hard. It's gonna be so easy to have this conversation with the two of them.
Yeah, no, we're both madaldal and more on that later, but we
More
met
on that
during
later.
the process. So for me, honestly, yeah, because of social media, a lot of people were like, "Oh, are you gonna apply?" Because during season 85, like I would religiously watch because Coach Sandy and my mom were college barkada ish. And like my dad knew him because they played against each other. And so I would like ask him, "Hey, do you guys have a social media so I can tag you?" And he's like, "Oh, we don't have." And I was like, "Oh, you guys should have, because to engage the younger community." And he's like, "You wanna propose to Coach Tab?" And I was like, "Huh? Uh, okay." And then so I met with Coach Tab, and he's like, "Okay, to be honest with you, you know how Ateneo is. They like their little inner circle." And he's like, "To be honest with you, I'm not for this idea initially, but who knows? You might change my mind." So then I presented to him, and he goes, he like talks a certain. He's like, "I see your point. Okay, I'll talk to them." And so that's how it kind of happened. And when you're there every day, you really see the hard work they put in, and you have so much respect for it, to the point that I was like, "Oh my god, I want to tell this story. I want to be able to do them justice because they work so hard, because it's such an interesting story, because it's a very different Ateneo identity from the ones we've watched the past decade. So it's really interesting and it's really exciting." But yeah, and then there, I really wanted to do it. After a while, I was like, "Wait, I want to do this." And I feel like when you're a kid and you're thinking about UAP, you're like, "Oh my god, the girl on the screen, I want to do that." I think it's like every little girl's secret dream. I don't know, I could be wrong.
You're so right, girl. I mean, for me naman, background about me, I know sports, but I'm not a super fan. So basically,
Yet.
all my college life and my high school life, I was an active org girl. Like I was a member, I was a student leader. As in every role I could take, in org, I would take on internships then. So basically, like, I don't want to stereotype, but I was that org active girly nga. So fourth year comes, and I am so burnt out with everything I did for the past years of like since senior high. So I was like telling my friends, like my college barkada, I'm just gonna keep my fourth year open. Like I will just not do anything and live my life. So, so yun. And then I saw nung summer na they posted like, we're looking for the next UAAP correspondents. And I was like, yo, I think, okay, I actually found out because I was stalking one of the Courtside reporters for no reason. Like, I was just like, oh,
Oh, I did that too. And
yeah,
I was like,
I was like, I just want to
So,
see
ganun
what this
nangyari.
girl
You
is
guys were
up
just
to.
talking to a random, like, courtside reporter out of, like, not out of nowhere, but, like, it's just around the conversation prior to the audition.
Did we
ano, stalking like
stalking?
online.
I was
Oh,
like
stalking! I heard
Instagram
talking.
stalking like one of the
I'm
girls
sorry,
from
guys. It's 8 a.m. We're recording at 8. Whose idea was it ba? Before we
mine.
proceed there, who's...
I'm going with my sister later because she's gonna Christmas shop. So I was like, okay, let me join.
Okay. Okay, go ahead. Please continue.
Okay, anyway, as I was saying, so yeah, I saw the Instagram post, and in my head, the first thing was like, apply. Like, a voice in my head just said, just go for it. So I did. Like, when people ask me, but can I apply? I say, trip ko lang, but really, oh my gosh, suddenly I got dark. Did you see that?
Who
Yeah.
did you
No, but
stalk,
Sorry.
by the
mine
way?
Yeah, like, what
May name
happened?
drop ba?
that past.
Wow. Anyway, that's not the point. Sorry, you can cut that, Nico. Oh my god. That's
No,
so distracting.
no. There's nothing. Ano naman dun na. Who are you stalking, by the way? Which
The ADH
courtside
joke.
reporter?
Yeah, basically, I saw the post and I was like, I'll just go for it. So I recorded my audition, and then surrendered. I was like, okay, we'll see where this goes. And in my head, I really was expectation setting. Na parang, are you sure makukuha ka? Like, I know a lot of girls want it. I was confident with my skills, but not necessarily like in sports. So I was like, really suntok sa buwan. And then, but I kept praying about it. I kept manifesting it until like each email came, and then I got the final one. Like I remember sila Coach Jeff and one of my players, like they were asking, "But can I apply?" And I "Fit ko lang." But like honestly, it was a dream nga, like ever since. But I didn't think much of it. Like it was a side dream. Oh, it would be nice, but it's not a I should be a reporter moment. Like so, ayon, and now we're here. It's crazy. I can't believe basketball season is over.
It's
No,
Yeah.
volleyball na kayo
same.
bigla. Ang bilis, no? It's 2
I
months,
know,
right?
like
Was it 2 months lang?
Fast.
ish, yeah.
3,
For
I think.
Patrice, it's 2.5.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
Patrice and
Carla.
si Carla.
Yeah.
So I want to
Crazy.
ask, like, which CSR were you stalking prior? You guys said you were checking it out, right? So sino yung tinitingnan nyo prior to and be like, maybe I want to be this person. Maybe I want to do this year.
Okay, so for me, I was mutuals with Kyla Kingsu
Okay.
like prior. So I would see her posts about it and I'd be like, oh wow, that looks so fun. And then I saw the ad. And then from there, I stalked Julia Vargas. I'm just being
Past
honest.
Ateneo. Yeah,
I
there's
stalked,
nothing to hide
Yeah,
I
naman eh.
stalked all
valid.
of them. And then I went on a deep dive and I stalked all of them. And I was like,
That's exactly what happened to me. Like, I think I saw Kyla's post also.
yeah.
If she's watching, we love you, Kyla.
We love you, Kyla. So,
Yeah.
she's so nice. And I met her during the audition process. And she said something so cheesy at the time, but it really makes sense. If you're applying, just be yourself. She's like, it's fine. Just go through it and you'll be okay. Like it was really reassuring to have her say that also. So yeah.
What was like the most challenging part of that audition? I know you said that there were multiple emails, diba? But is there any point in that audition that you're like, this might be the one that would kill me or challenge me the most?
Do you want me to answer first?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I think for
Is there
me,
like a hard part ba? Or it's parang it's this, okay, go ahead.
I mean, I'm not sure how much we can say about it. But for me, it's not
Go
really the
lang.
audition itself. It's
Okay.
how much you know, how much you
Oh, so it's
because
the
the thing with being a
knowledge.
courtside reporter is like no one tells you how to do your job because we don't do the same job for like kunwari, we're eight, but each one of us do it differently. So parang
Yeah.
who are you to say
Mm.
na tama ba yung ginagawa mo or hindi? I think that's the difficulty eh. Kasi you can't, it's not like a stat sheet na, oh, you did an 8 out of 10. You did a 5 out of 10. Like here, it's so qualitative. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
for me, it's the energy. It's the preparation din siguro na parang, yeah, how do you write a fake report? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I think it's that one. It's really like embodying it, especially if you don't, like me, parang yun nga, I didn't know much about the sports world. I didn't know about the sports, but not deep dive fanatic level. So I think my preparation was di naman the hardest, pero parang hanggang saan ka magpa-prepare. That's the
Okay.
challenge for me. Yun.
Do you guys have to
Um,
like learn both basketball and volleyball ba?
it's super on the fly. That's
Ah, super
another
on the fly.
when not super on the fly, like, oh, they're just gonna throw you to the wolves. Like they'll tell you, okay, this is what we expect of you. Like this is how long more or less your report has to be, and you should contact the team right now. You know, show up to this event. Make sure to contact the head of your athletics department so you know their schedule. But I already had that in a spreadsheet because I have
Yeah.
access to the manager file. So I was like, oh, okay. Like I had their birthdays. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna check their astrological sign.
Oh, that's
If
the extra.
if any of the players are watching this, I'm so sorry, but I totally checked your astrological signs.
Is it
So
accurate, would you say?
yes, but
I did not do
um,
that.
I was very not sure with. But then again, like Jules said, all our approaches are so
Mm-mm.
different, and it's also the vibe of the team
The
because
vibe
every
of the team.
team is super duper different with the way they
Yeah.
prepare. Like for Ateneo, no one talks before a game.
Okay.
Like you have to lock in. And I know for other teams, like they have like a hype circle or they're like, you know, madaldal or they're allowed to use their phone. So it really depends on the vibe of the team. And you kind of have to make it timpla. And again, you need like intangibles like people skills. And I feel like that's something Jules is super good at. So
You're also good with people skills. Actually, all of you guys are supposed to be good with people skills, diba?
Yeah, I think that's one of the ano rin, like
Hmm.
to be a reporter, I guess you need to talk like
you
And
can't be
really
shy.
approach people. Like, hi, I need this
yeah.
from you.
Pero I mean, as much as you can't be shy, alam mo yun, like sometimes nahihiya pa rin ako, but at the same time, like wala akong magagawa. Kasi like I can't do my job if I'm not like kapal mukha moments na at that time, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah. I remember the first time I had the interview, I was like, okay. And then I was like, guys. And I was like, so I don't know why I was so nervous because I see them every day. I was like, guys, hi. This isn't for social media. This is for, and they were like, oh, yeah. Parang they're like, ikaw pala. Like, because they announced it in pep rally. So they kind of looked, they're like, it's you again.
that's
So
so
yeah.
cute.
So
Yeah.
did you like like during the pep rally? Did you like show up on stage? Is it like you walk out with the team? How's it like there?
It was so funny. So Allison of UE, of UE, the
Oh,
courtside from
oh,
UE,
of UE.
of UE. Um, and Julia, who was like my predecessor, I guess, like they introduced me, but then I just stood up and I waved, and so the entire team was like, they were like, it's you again. And then I was like talking
That's
to my dad, and he's like, oh my god, they're gonna be so sick of you, obviously in a joking way, but like I was like, yeah, oh well.
Yeah, and then ano pa, like this time it's volleyball. Anyway, for you, Jules, how so knowing both their stories, Rocio and Jules, for them, getting into accepted to Ateneo for Rocio, they already know her, right? But for you, Jules, how is it like when
yeah.
you first received those news? If you want to share it here, go ahead. But what was your honest feelings na, okay, I'm accepted. But what was going through your head or your heart during that time?
Yeah, so I found out like NU, yeah, I got NU. So we had a workshop, thus I found out
Okay.
there. And oh my gosh, kinabahan talaga ako. I was like shocked. Like because I've been in Ateneo for 6 years now since I was from Ateneo Senior High then.
Oh yeah.
So you would, even if wasn't a fanatic, I would hear about it. I know our players, you know, as any Atenean would. So when I found out na I got NU, I was so like kinabahan talaga ako nun. I was like, where am I gonna start? And we found out like a week or 2 weeks before the season started, and 1 week before press con. So the time was really tight. And I was like, how will I do this? So, ayan, syempre, like, Signal helped us, like, reach out to our coaches and whatever. So, I did. And then, kinabahan ako kasi Coach Jeff, tinype niya sa chat na, alam ba nito yung, alam ba nito yung culture sa practice? And then, when I saw that, I was like,
Para sa group chat ka na? They added you na?
yeah, in the group. Like, no, like, we had a group chat. I had a
Okay.
group chat with Coach Jeff. Parang I was
Okay.
introduced to him online. And then
Okay.
I was like, oh my gosh, like, what do they do? And I was like, syempre, I know Ateneo culture, but I don't know NU culture. So sabi ko, ano yung ibig sabihin ni Coach nun? Parang, how bad is it? Like, that was the first thing in my head. But eventually, ayun nga, like, I'm so happy na I'm in NU. Like, they know that. I keep telling them that. And like, so what I did at first, I was also so shy. Like, I would just show up. I wouldn't even talk to anyone. Siguro I would just talk to like the captains, like Pat and Nash. That's it. And then I'd go to training and I just interview one person and I'd be like, wait lang, parang sayang yung gas ko dito ah. Parang, what am I doing? So every time I'd go to practice, I'd challenge myself na, okay, you talk to these people na. Try the next, ganon. And also, like Coach Jeff would help a lot. Like he would say, oh, sino pa yung kailangan mo kausapin? And then initially, he'd call them for me pa. But then eventually, yun nga, as he saw na I was okay na with the team, ganon, like, Coach Jeff was like, oh, kausapin mo na sila, like, bahala ka na, ganyan. So, yeah, like, it was a process. But I think nga, it was really na dapat masanay muna sila sa'yo, like, and you to them. Like, you don't know, kasi nagpapakiramdaman pa kayo, diba? Like, what's the vibe? What's the vibe check? Like, pwede ba to asarin? Pwede ba to ganyan? So, ayun. Like, I think, thankfully, it all turned out well. And makulit sila. And I'm kulit also. So, banter lang sometimes. Which I very much appreciate because it makes the work feel lighter. Parang I just don't see them as, okay, I interview you, like, goodbye. Like, see you again on the game. So, sometimes we do update each, like, not naman update each other, but I'm like, oh, I'm so tired na, ganon. Those little cuentos, for me, that's a lot na when it comes to our professional working relationship.
Professional. We're gonna get there later. I have
Yes.
a question for that one. Wait, what's NU culture ba? Now that you've been immersed there, ano ba yung sasabi niyang NU
Ang
culture?
kulit lang nila. Basically, like, they just
Ayun yun.
enjoy. Like, yeah, parang pag
Huwag
training.
masyado seryoso.
Yeah, like, they're not serious. Like, when someone has, like, a good player, like, natira niya yung tres or something, like, humihiyaw sila. And, like, some people are on
Okay.
the floor. Like, oh, shit! Like, and then I was like, whoa,
Oh,
whoa!
they
And
really celebrate.
it's just so funny. Because I'm just seated, there's a coach's table. And then I'm just laughing. Like, it's entertaining to watch them. That's why I'm okay with going to training. As much as nakaupo lang ako on the side. Because they're so funny. Yun, that's it.
How about for you, Rocio? I mean, you started as a social media manager, and with that, I think that's even though it's not really the CSR, I mean, but it's your first day with the team. Did you get comfortable with them agad? Who was like the person? Like for Jules, it's Pat and Nash. Your first day, did you approach like a student manager na, can you introduce me to him? Or you were just like, it's my first day today. I'm just gonna ask you and just ask whatever I want.
So my process, there was like a lot of interviews that went in with this
Yeah.
entire
Please.
process. So I met with Coach Sandy again a bit after I had my meeting with Coach Tab because Coach Sandy wasn't there as Pakachaga. And so he took me to Blue Alley, which is like the canteen
Blue
underneath
Alley.
Cora Lorenzo. So he was like, okay, I'll treat you to chicken lollipop. You can give me the presentation. We're gonna figure out how to convince management to do this. So I was like, okay. And then I think it was Kai Balungay and Sean Cateves that came in. So I was introduced to them. And then they were like, oh my God, hi. And they were super friendly. And so I was like showing them all my ideas and they were like, okay, we're game. And I feel like, because, like they're athletes, obviously they'll be excited if they have their
Mm.
own social media and things like that. Because they're passionate about what they do. They're excited to talk about it as long as you give them the space to talk about it. And I feel naman that's with anyone. If you give them the opportunity to talk about what they're passionate about, they'll love to talk about it. You just need to make sure that that space is open. So I met them and then I met the head manager Migs muna. But he's graduating. He's actually the blockmate of Jules.
Small
I
world
had
nga
this
eh.
small world. And so when I met with him, the first thing he said was like, "You're not our CSR next year." That was the first thing he said. And I was like, okay, that's a sign I should apply. And so during the preseason, whenever players would ask, "Oh, who's our courtside next year or correspondent next year?" the managers would always tease, "Oh no, we're gonna make it Rocio," and they were like, "Haha, okay," and then they were like, "I wait, she actually did it." So it was really funny. But wait, I lost my train of thought. What is the question? How's the culture, or how did I introduce myself
Go
to them?
no, just go.
Yourself-ish.
That's the
Okay,
same. Go ahead. That's
yeah.
still within the story. Go ahead. This is
So there, I really just coordinated with Chris and Sean during the preseason. But then as the preseason progressed, I was introduced to a lot of the rookies. So I was able to talk to them. And then as the season started, that's when I really, talked to a lot of the vets. And they're all so nice. Like, so much respect for them. Like, I'm so sad some of our vets are leaving. Like Joe Obasa, super fun guy to interview because he just loves to talk about random things because he's a man of many interests. And then our other vet, Jason Credo, super bait. And his best friendship with Gio is so funny. And they're always together. So parang, you see those dynamics play out and you're like, oh, it's like, it's giving Ted Lasso. I don't know how else to explain it.
Ted Lasso. Oh my god, I love Ted Lasso.
Yeah,
Anyway,
but there. So
yes.
yun, that's about it.
Oh, that's good. I love the dynamic. So with that one, when on your first day, were there any, so of course before going to the practices and everything, you would ask people, right? Like, are there any assumptions that you guys entered with versus now when you actually got there, they have been subverted?
Mm.
Like for example, this person daw is very serious, but in reality, you're like, parang di naman. So mga ganun. Were there any stories or not warnings, but more of just heads up on how how certain things are here?
Well, because my dad, like, he was a UAP player. So,
Mm,
he was like, oh, just, don't like set boundaries, obviously, because it's like my first job-ish. Because, like, I've
mm.
had, like, jobs, but they're, like, not on contract. Like, it'll be, like, a social media job thing, or, like, you show up to this event. So, this is, like, a very long-term job. So, you need to establish boundaries right away, especially because it's not, and I like to say, like, it's not even like a male dominated field. It's like an only male environment and you're the only girl there. And that's why, like, I really love, like, my other correspondents because, it's like a sisterhood. Like, I love that Signal cultivates that culture that, like, where the eighth team,
It's
eighth,
like a sorority.
yeah,
Yeah.
eighth, ninth team of the UAP, and parang, we stick together. So I really appreciate that. But in terms of assumptions, obviously, like, you watch high school dramas on TV, you think, oh, angas sila, or like they're, not nice or whatever. But then when I met them, like, they're super duper nice. Like, especially when I would ask for interviews, like, they would always make themselves available. They were super accommodating even though they were really tired for practice. And like Ateneo practice is late. It's from 6 to 9, sometimes 10 p.m. So
Once a
you're
day,
there
twice a day.
once a day.
Once a
But they
day.
have like dates, they have film viewing, and film viewing is really, really long. Because, Coach Tab's like a professor. Like, I sat in film viewing and I'm like, oh, so it's like another class but longer. Um, so yeah, it was more of just that. I was
Juice?
I
been
agree
wrong.
with Rocio, like boundaries wise. I mean, ako naman, I didn't have any preconceived notions about the NU boys kasi I didn't know anything at all.
For sure.
Like, for me, it was such a clean slate, and that's a double-edged sword na parang, yes, it's good na I don't know, but also it's bad that I don't know. So I had to find out everything talaga by myself. Like, whether that's talking to them, talking to Coach Jeff, reading articles online, or like watching their highlights from before. And of course, asking Jerry, like my predecessor, Jerry Medina, like she's such a big help talaga. Until now, like I tell her everything. And like if I ever have like challenges or whatever, like I tell her because sino pa ba yung makakaintindi nun but her since she was in my shoes last year. So, ayun, like that also helped a lot. And Generally, yeah, like mabait naman sila. Like there was never a time na I felt unsafe or like parang I remember sometimes pagpasok ko ng coach's room and late ako to practice. Kasi
Mhm.
technically, I can go to practice when it ends. But I prefer not to. Like, I'd rather just be there the whole time na lang. Kasi I'm there na nga eh. Like, might as well just be there for the whole thing. And so, I go in the coach's room and then late ako pumasok, so I enter the room. It's so dark. And then they're all like, they see me. And then maya-maya, I just stand there. May chair na, like may upuan na pumupunta sa akin. Like, they are just passing it na. So that I can sit down. Something like that. Or when it's training, tas nakatayo lang ako. They'd offer me a chair or whatever. Like, yung little gestures like that, parang I never felt the, ano, na, oh, like you're Atenean or whatever. Parang, they also made their own little efforts to make me feel included or at least safe sa during training or during the games. So, yeah, thank God. Like, the NU boys are really nice. So, yun, that's the assumption I wanna share with the world. It is true. It is validated
It,
by me.
it
Yeah.
is true. I mean, it's a good thing that you guys set boundaries, diba? Like for sure that it doesn't interfere with your work during the
Mhm.
whole season. Because that's 2 months also. That's tagal, and it's gonna be hard if if it's awkward in that kind of setting. And so that's why, uh, what do you call this? Actually, the best thing here is that the opening game stories. So it was Ateneo versus NU, the opening
Yeah.
game. So how was that like? Like preparing, like when you saw the schedule na how was that? Like did you message each other na, oh my god, I think we're first game. How would
Yeah.
you prepare? How are we gonna do this? How are we gonna get there? Feel free to share
We
how
actually
that
went
day
together,
went.
like on our
Yeah,
first
we rode
game.
Okay.
together. Jules and I were so excited because we were like, oh, it's our first game together. Because like our first face-to-face audition was together. Oh my God, you wanna tell this story?
Yeah,
Yes,
we
oh yeah,
can.
yeah. I missed that one. Oh nga, no, I forgot na that's the small tidbit na you guys are actually met during the auditions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were like right after one another too.
Yeah, we
And so
were.
we
Is
were
this the
just
first leg or parang second leg na to? Na parang na filter out na from the video.
yeah. So
Yeah, there
second,
was video submit. Oh, second na? Like face to
yeah,
face is second. Okay.
yeah. So then we met there, and so we were just like making cuento because there were like a lot of Ateneans apply.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's just always how it's been.
Mm-mm.
Even signals like we don't know. It's just always been like that. So it was like all Atenean girls. But then Juice and I kept talking because we're both so madaldal.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna catch a grab home. And then Juice was like, I'm going to Katip. You wanna carpool? And I was like, sure. And my
Yeah.
mom was like, okay, just put on your location kasi that's like a stranger. And I do not believe in stranger danger. I'm just like,
You
okay,
should, honey.
I should.
You don't? Like you don't believe I believe in stranger danger.
I
Like
I I don't know. Like I met my roommate on TikTok, which is a whole other story. Like I just
Yana?
Yana, I met her on TikTok.
Okay.
Crazy. So like I don't know why I should be afraid of certain things that I'm not. Anyway, Jules was like, "Oh yeah, let's sorry." She was like, "Let's have lunch." And I was like, "Game." And then there, we talked about our entire lives for like an hour.
Yeah, like we had, like I was driving, tas on the way back, like ano, kinabahan ako, I was like, oh my God, Rocio Trillo was in my passenger seat. What the frick? Like I was like, and then my best friend at the time, she was calling my phone while I was driving, and I was like, why are you calling? She wanted to check up on me, like
Yeah.
what happened, the audition, whatever. But then yeah, like we had lunch in Army Navy, and parang I feel like Rocio and I knew each other for so long at the time, but really we just met each other like 2 hours ago. And then we were both saying na, oh, I hope we get in together, blah, blah, blah. You know, syempre without knowing what would happen naman.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, and then fast forward, nag-workshop, and then to the first game, like we were just together. And I feel like that helped the entire adjustment process. Kasi, yun nga, like who else would understand but another person who's doing the same thing?
Yeah.
And at that time, like, we had enough context na about each other. Like, parehas kaming kinakabahan, ganyan-ganyan. Like, and we'd always go early, like, to our first game, to the workshop. Like, sobrang aga namin palagi. Like, I was very paranoid na malilate kami. So, sorry,
Yeah.
Rocio, I would, like, literally get here, like, freaking so early in the morning. But,
Yeah.
yeah, parang good impression kasi na, oh, like you're
We're
early.
early. No, I love being early because like we're a big family, so we're always late to events.
Really?
And so
So,
yeah,
bihira lang na
yeah,
early.
yeah, so we're always late. So whenever it's like my thing, I'm like, I'm gonna be early. Like I'll tell my mom, I'll tell my dad, I'll be like, oh no, it's this time. But really it's like an hour earlier than the normal time.
No.
So when Jules
Para
was like, I
adjust.
don't want to be late, I was like, yes. Because it's also good professionalism, like to be
Oo.
prepared, to be early. You
Yeah.
want to give that impression to everyone within the broadcast team also. So
Who
yeah.
checks out? Like, is there anyone who checks your attendance? But or more of it's very independent kayo when you guys get to the actual venue.
Meron. Because
Meron
it's a
talaga
joke.
nag-check.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel
Like,
like para syempre like I don't know, on the legal side, like the payroll, I guess, but you have to really like
Figure it
verify
out.
if you were there.
yeah,
Thank
that makes
you,
sense.
obligations and contracts. My class.
May talent fee, ah. Parang may manager na rin kayong dalawa.
We were
Or
talking
did you?
about
Oh yeah, we're
Yeah,
ano,
talking
yeah.
about like the first
well,
game.
like
The
the
first
first
game.
time, yeah.
Yeah, first day. So you guys arrived on time. 2 hours before, 2, 3 hours before.
We
Yeah.
were
Do
like
you?
4 hours before. We got
Oh, four
up.
hours before. What time's the game
Yeah,
ba? Was it 4 p.m. during the first day?
I think so.
Was it
Yeah.
4? So you
Yeah,
guys are
par
mga 12, 12, 1.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I got you before lunch, something like that.
No, and it was so funny because like I condo in Katipunan, but I live in Alabang. So I like had my laundry bag with me and everything.
Naladaan.
And I'm like, I'm sorry, is it okay if I leave it here? She's like, yeah, sure. And then we both got New Balance shoes that were our
Yeah,
colors, which was really funny. But there it was okay naman. Like you just really have to this is for anyone that's new. You have to practice your pre-game and your first quarter report because
Mm.
that's what you can control and make really good. Because like the last three quarters, that's really out of your control. You have to have your baon. We call it baon, but it's like your cuento notes
yeah,
from the night before and then
Mhm.
whatever the coach says in the huddle. So if control what you can, especially if it's your first game or any game really, just be it never hurts to be fully prepared.
that's true.
Yeah.
You know, for me, I have a confession. Like during the first game, I only wrote my reports the morning of. Because
Same.
I was so freaking scared. Like I could not write the day before. And I was like, shucks, ito na talaga yon. Like, and as much as you, kunwari, like I'd watched Jerry's reports from last year. Like, yeah,
Iba
I
pa rin,
did.
no?
But also, iba na yun eh.
Iba eh.
Kumbaga, this is a different season na. So, yeah, buti na lang I was able to like, yeah, I visited practice, talked with the coaches and some of the team, like some of the members of the team, ganyan. But yeah, I only really did it the morning because parang procrastination mode na ako. Like, I was put in a spot na wala kang choice. You have to write it now or else wala kang masasabi later. So, I think it was the nerves. And I think, oh my gosh, I remember our first game, Rocio, sobrang agit natin. Like, we
Like in
were
the car?
shaking like crazy. Like, parang, let's say this is like, we're like,
Habang
coach was
nagda-drive, nag-stick
happy,
shift
but
yung
not
ball.
satisfied. And then we were like, and then the thing is,
Oh,
kasi we were
during the
both,
report. During the
no,
report.
like, I'm not just during the report. Yes, maybe, but also like off cam. Like, we were
Off cam.
Yeah.
so, like, agit. I don't know if, Rocio, you would agree, but kasi the thing is, di ba, we have three veterans, like Jana, Carla, and
Yeah.
Allison. So some of the girls
They're
were partnered
amazing.
with a veteran. So syempre parang, kumbaga watch and learn, ganon. Kami ni
Watch
Rocio,
it.
parehas kaming bago. So we were
It was
like,
like rookie roulette. We were
yeah,
like,
so
oh
you
my
can just
god.
imagine like two newbies like shaking like crazy that day. That was,
And
we
I
were having
watched
fun.
it was so much fun. No, and I remember before we did the halftime feed because we kind of host the halftime portion. That's another thing you
Yeah.
have to post
Sometimes,
correspondent.
no? Minsan wala siya. I noticed na minsan. Or there's a halftime feed.
Meron, pero sometimes they cut it ata sa
Oo nga. Sa
Pilipinas Live, which
Pilipinas
I have
Live,
no idea why.
Nico
Like,
gets back. It's
I just
entertaining.
know they
It's
do
behind the
something.
scenes eh.
Yeah, it depends then if the halftime analysis of the panel is long. Kasi they don't want the whole program to be too long, just in case people want to go back to it. I feel like they kind of it's not naman an unspoken rule, but like kind of that they want it at a certain time frame. So that way the audience isn't waiting too long. But yeah, I think it was okay naman. But yeah, what Jules said, I rewatched my first report.
Oh yeah, first
Yeah.
report.
And I was like, and then I was like looking, because I was like, okay, I rather just not look at the camera and not screw up what I'm gonna say. Because it's your first time. Like you
Yeah.
don't know what's going, because like at the end of the day, you want it to be as natural as possible, but it's not like social media. Social media is a completely different medium
Mm.
than live television, because there's this sense of formality that you have to have when you're talking to a camera, in contrast to like just your phone when you're lying in bed. It's like two different art forms. It's like singing and painting. It's two different things. So you really need to get used, or like, yeah, once masanay ka na, it's fine, I feel. But both of us, yeah, we were so
But
nervous.
I
But
remember, alam mo, before that halftime segment, Rocio and I, oh, we were beside each other. And then I told her, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. And
yeah,
sabi ni
I
Rocio,
was gonna say.
yeah, like same here. So like we had that ano pala, na parang we at that point we did like 3 reports. And like we were already enjoying it so much.
Like when you mean 3
Yeah.
reports, that's 3 games na. That's
No,
what you
like three
mean.
game, first quarter,
Um,
second quarter.
Okay, so first day. First
Like
game,
first,
yeah.
yeah, first day, first
Okay.
3 reports ever. Like we were
yeah.
having so much fun. And I feel like the enjoying it should really, kasi parang pag UAP na, sobrang grabe yung schedule. It's insane. Like
Yeah.
Wednesday, Saturday, or Sunday, pupunta ka pa ng practice and then you have your own ACADS pa. Like honestly, I don't know how Rocio does it as both social media manager and courtside. So I always like, I check up on her like, are you okay? Did you get
Oo
sleep?
nga,
Did you
'di
eat?
ba?
Like,
Parang
because
she's
ako,
doing
I'm
2
dying
jobs.
and I'm just doing like not naman the bare minimum, but I'm doing like the what is required. And the
Yeah.
above going above that pa is like I'm gonna, get burnt out siguro. But it's really the enjoying it kasi. I feel like towards round two, parang it became a bit routine for me. I felt like a machine low-key. Na, okay, I go to a game, I go to practice, I make reports, blah blah blah. Na parang I lost that enjoyment a bit. So I would genuinely write it in my notebook. Like enjoy the moment. Like parang I would remind myself na before the report, that's all you think about. I-enjoy mo lang siya. So, not naman I lost it. Parang kumbaga I found my groove. And then I was like, okay, okay na to. Like parang, but then I feel like once you enjoy it and bring your whole self into it talaga, that's when you'll, do a better job than the
Yeah. I think then similar to what you're saying, like you have to put it into perspective so you appreciate it more. And
Mhm.
like,
Yeah, totoo.
and I was like talking to our mentors, like I was talking to Boom, and he was like, you don't know if your team will make it to the final four because anything can happen in the UAP, like
Mhm.
beginning of like second round. So he was like, you have to make the most of it. You have to enjoy it because you don't know when you'll have this opportunity again. And when you think about it that way, you think about how many people applied, how many, not just how many people want to be in your position, but how much you wanted to be in this position like 2 3 months ago. You're like, wow, I'm here. And then you're like, you know,
Yeah,
it's
parang
not,
don't normalize it. Like, yeah, it's
yeah,
normalize the routine and the process, but don't normalize how special the experience is. Oh my gosh, Rocio, I really agree with you on that. Like, I keep telling my parents nga, like throughout the season, you know the book Ichigo Ichi? I don't know if I said that right.
Ichigo,
yeah,
Ichigo.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, I have
It's like the balance thing on, it's like is it like the Venn
no, I think
diagram?
that's Ikigai. But
Ikigai.
it's by the same author. It's okay.
Okay.
I also mix it. No, basically, yung philosophy nun is the same thing never happens twice.
Yeah.
Like if I go to practice, this week's practice is different from next week's practice. So I lived by that talaga, like during the season. As much as I said na I found the routine, I keep telling myself, kunwari, like yeah, we were up against LaSalle the first time. And then round two, it's a completely different game. Even if it's the same team, you know what I mean? Like, even if it's very routinary, each experience, each game, each practice, each interview, it's also unique. And it will never happen again. So like, kahit pagod na ako noon, I kept telling myself like, girl, yeah, you're living your dream. Like you made it this far. Like, kumbaga, you didn't come this far just to come this far. Like, kumbaga, put your whole heart into it. Ganon. Wait, I was gonna say something. I forgot. Oh, I think this applied. Like, as Rocio said, diba, you're not sure if you'll make it to the final four, blah, blah, blah. I remember last practice before our final four game, parang pinilit ko talaga. I had two presentations that morning for thesis and another class. Then after that, I ate lunch and I straight up went to NU. I was like, bahala na everything. Like, I need to see them. I need to be in practice today. I didn't even talk to anyone, like any of the boys that day na. Because I had my practice. I had my baon na from
Oh,
Mm-mm.
them.
but you wanna be there. You
Yeah,
know,
I
there's
just needed to be there. Because I was like, I mean, I trusted them. Now, I know they could do it, but who knows what will happen, diba? So
yeah.
I'm so grateful that I was able to be there during the last practice day. Tapos we had team dinner after, and ayun, parang for me, I was like, no matter what happens tomorrow, like I was telling myself that before our Final Four game, like kahit ano mangyari, I'm happy with everything. I'm happy with how things turned out, with my bond with the team, blah 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 blah. Like, so yeah, it's really just, and now it's done. But I can't believe nga we survived that. Like, I feel like we just started.
Yeah, no, dude, the first weekend na walang game, I was like, I felt, oh, this is so dramatic, but I felt numb. I was like,
Yeah,
what do you mean there's no game?
There's
And
like a
like, I
void,
remember
empty void.
empty void,
there
dude.
is.
I was like, what am I gonna do with my life? And I was talking to the other managers. And this is another thing. Like, I feel like I wouldn't be able to get all the work done if like all the managers weren't there because they really help. Like if you're able to report to Ateneo, you're really lucky because they will really help you. And because I was social media coming into that second round, they were like, "Hey, we know you're tired. Let's help you." And so, I was able to delegate work. And for that, I'm always super appreciative of them. Shout out to my graphic girlies, Jürgen and 30, because they were like, okay, we're gonna help you, step up the social media. And I was like, yes. So, thank you to all of them. Sorry, I just want to shout them out because without them, diba? Kasi you're stressing about a report and you're like, how do you make this poster nice? So having them was amazing. But yung last practice, I remember I was sitting with the managers. We were in the coach's office and they were like, shoot, like, are we seeing each other
For the last
Next
Sunday?
time?
week? Oo, yung ganung
Oh,
question.
I
ganun.
was like,
Meron pa bang
I was
next
like, shh, shh, don't say that. Like, but it was really like that. And especially Ateneo had so many do or die games because we were
Oh,
the fourth.
sobrang kaba.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh my God, nakakaloka.
I was like, oh my God. And whenever I would talk to the players, they're like, they try to play it cool. They're like, yeah, you know. And every day they're like, play like it's your last game, except now it might actually be our last. And I was,
Fun.
and then they were like, no, it's true. And so, yeah, it was a emotional roller coaster. I was like, wow. Yeah.
You know, I agree with you, Rocio. Sorry, Nico. Are we taking the wheel too much?
This is what I wanted. This is how
Okay.
usually, the podcast is people just really talking. It's
Conversation.
not like a format na guys, we have to talk about this topic.
Yeah.
It's just free. What were you gonna say? Go ahead. I like this. It's
No,
just like I feel like
that being numb, like, dude, di ako, like, genuinely, when I say di ako makabangon, like, di ako, my dad warned me na.
di
He was like,
makabang.
Julian, like, ayokong malungkot ka. Ayokong umiyak ka. And I was like, what are you saying? Like,
Oh,
I have been through all of their games. I see them in practice. I talk to them. I was like, of course I'm gonna be affected. And then ayun na, so yeah, we lost. I cried. And then the next day, so it was like a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I genuinely could not get out of bed. Like I was just sulking in my room. Like in my room. I was like, oh my gosh. And the thing is, I was not able to post-process. Like hindi ko na sila nakita after our last game.
my
So,
God.
Up
like,
until
hindi
now?
ko
Up
sila
until now?
nakamusta. Yeah, until
Oh.
now. So, I was like, just being sad. Like, for real. Like, the only reason why I got up that week is because I had to go to the pep squad practice na. And the first time I went back to NU, na hindi ko binisita yung basketball team, it felt so trippy. I was like, what? Like, where are the squeaks on the court? Like, where are the.
And the dribble of the basketball.
Yeah,
They're
where's
like,
the ring? That week was so trippy talaga for me. I was like, but yeah, yeah, but the pep squad is super nice, like the coaches and everyone. Like, yeah, obviously, like, yun nga, NU people, I love them so much. It's just, it felt weird. Like, I feel like I didn't get closure. Like, I could
Yun.
genuinely
Parang
say,
walang closure na you haven't met the team. So kaya ganyan siguro
yeah.
feeling mo. There's no like, may Christmas dinner ba? for NU?
I'm
Like
not
may
sure, but they're out ngayon eh. I think
yeah,
they're
nakita ko
having
si
a
Jolo
event.
Maransala eh. Sabi ko, sa tong guy na to? He's like in a
Yeah, they're
beach or
always
something.
live. They're always on social
Lagi
media.
siyang
So,
live.
yeah. Pero yun, like, kaya it took me siguro a week and a half, like, after our loss to, like, fully move on. Like, after CDC, medyo masakit pa yung puso ko at the time, like, honestly.
Same,
So,
same, same.
Masakit
yeah,
puso from the team or more of just the
the
overall preparation?
loss.
The
Na
loss,
parang it
yeah.
ended us so fast. Parang it feels like a breakup. Like, that's what I think Yani said that. She was like, yeah, it feels like a breakup now. I was like, yeah, it does a bit.
Yeah, a breakup
Yeah,
na parang through text. Parang
You
ganon.
know what?
Kasi
I
wala
mean,
parang hindi
okay, I
face
mean,
to
I was
face eh.
mentally preparing myself. It's just I feel like you're so in it for like 2 months, and then suddenly, like, no
true.
Ah,
one
And
says goodbye. No one says, like, it's just how it is. Like,
you see them
what?
every day. That's my thing. It's like it's just the routine and seeing
Mm-hmm.
them every day. Tapos you don't see them. I'm like, that's so wild to me. It's like that. And so like I saw them in the Christmas party. I was like, oh my God, this is the first time I've seen you not sweaty. You know, like they were all wearing like normal clothes. Like, it's so funny. And so there they were just like laughing, and you see them parang like okay na. Cause like the last time I saw them, they were like
Iyakan, ganon.
not okay. Like everyone was like, you know. So it was good to see them happy. Yun. But
You know, Rocio, she made a TikTok kasi na parang may mga sinasabi si Coach Tab after like the
the
post
notes
game loss.
thingy where she took
Yeah, na
notes
parang
of
she
the
had to
quotes.
let it out somewhere. I felt the exact same. Usually, pag natatalo kami, the next day or something, like, I'm there. Kasi I wanna ask them
greet
kumusta
them.
kayo, ganon. Eh, because nga natalo na kami ng Final Four, I was like, what the heck? Like,
What do
I
I do?
didn't have that na. And okay, like, ito nga, as I said, professional boundaries. Like, I was too shy to message anyone. Like, oh, how are you? You know, like, we
Weird.
talk in real
Professional pa
life.
naman
But
yun ah. Professional pa naman yun ah.
okay, I mean,
Kakamustahin
no,
mo
parang,
lang.
and ayoko
Masakit
rin naman
ba?
silang guluhin. Like, parang personally, parang tama na. Like, alam ko, parang pagod na rin tong mga to. So, I know, like, I know naman na if we do see each other, like, in real
We'll
life, when that may be, I know naman na I'll bring that up and stuff. So, ayun, like, it's okay now. I think we're all happy
Naka-recover
again.
na kayo. Naka-recover na
Yeah.
kayo.
Yeah, yeah. And I feel like, it's like what Coach Tab said, yun, after that loss.
Yeah.
He said, it's something the coaches, your teammates can't give you. And that's the feeling of a really hard loss. And so I hope
Mm-mm.
it lights a fire under you, or like a spark that lights a fire that will burn all throughout next season. And you can see it. Like when you look at the rookies, they're like this na, they're so tight knit. And I saw it, I was like, okay, my I'm not gonna say anything, but next season I'm like, okay, I believe. But yeah.
That's what I keep telling myself then every year. I believe, I believe. Every game actually. This year, I believe, I believe. Tapos tanggal na tayo. It's UP. But yeah, I think that's for another podcast episode. But now that it's done na, 'di ba, basketball. Did anything change from your routine from the first day to the last? How did you see yourself improve? How did you get better each game? Or did you stick with the same routine? You didn't change much.
Well, for me, I changed a lot
Mm,
from like my first round approach to my second round.
okay.
Because I felt like I was like hitting a brick wall. I was like, I know this can be better. And I felt
Oo,
Okay.
yung gano'n. That's what I meant kanina with the, I'm not sure if,
this
parang
is
feel ko may
okay.
mabibigay pa ako. So I have to enjoy.
Yeah.
Yung
Okay.
gano'n, like, same sentiment.
Yeah. So I was like, this can be way better. And I would watch myself after and I'd be like, no, this can be way better. And this is another thing. If like for people that intend to apply for courtside, you need
Mm.
to have really thick skin. If you have a social media presence and
Yan.
you
I was gonna ask that later, but go. Feel
like
free.
you have to have really thick skin. And because like they tell you in the workshop, they were like don't get Twitter. They were like they were like, don't read the comments. They were like, if you do big posts, don't read the comments if there's a lot of engagement.
Mm.
Don't check your message requests if they're from fans. Not fans, that like
Mga
not
creep,
fans.
ganon.
Yeah, parang don't
I hate
I
don't
was
that.
do
g-
that.
oh
Ew!
man.
So
Who said you? Is
it's
it
so
Jules?
hard.
Akala ko serious.
Me.
We're gonna get
Maarte.
there. I was gonna ask that. I want to ask that.
Yeah,
Go.
so
I
it
mean,
was
finish your story.
really
Go, go.
hard. And cause like, I understand the background and context because, my family, we're a basketball family. Like that's how I grew up. Like I grew up watching my dad's games. Like I think right before I was born or like right before I was born or before I was born, like, my dad played for LaSalle, then he coached Adamson, then he went to the PBA. My mom was the first batch of courtside reporters for the UAP. So I understand the gravity, but that also increases the expectation, which is super valid. But then again, it's like the first time you're doing anything. And so like I would get really nasty comments. And it's like, but I know that it comes with the territory because I do come from a place with so much access to context and information and constructive criticism that I will obviously take advantage of it. Anyone in my position would, I feel like. So you just need to be thick skinned and really understand that the only opinions that matter. This was like a thing that Brene Brown said. She
Oh,
wrote
I love
Dare to
that.
Lead. Wow. I
Love that.
was really desperate. I read self-help books, guys. She said it like on a podcast too, I think. But you get a 1 inch by 1 inch piece of paper and you write the names of all the people whose opinions matter to you. And then you keep it. So that's what I did. For me, it was my producers, my
Mm-mm.
mom, and my sister because I really value their opinions. And that was it. Parang after that, I was like, okay, I don't care, whatever the external things are. And you really have to mentally just lock in. And I feel like I talked about it to the players too, and it really enabled us to connect more. And really, and I really took their advice. They were like, yeah, it doesn't, just don't think about it. Don't look. And I feel like delusion is the solution. Just don't listen to the external opinions that don't matter, 'di ba? So for anyone applying, I feel like just keep that mindset because they're gonna tell you and you're not gonna listen and it's gonna be an interesting ride. Yeah. Sorry,
How about for you,
mini
Jules?
rant.
No, no, just feel free to rant till like later if you guys want. How about you, Jules? How's it like for you with regards to that one? Like with of course being a CSR has all so much attention. You receive both positive, negative. So
I
how's it like for
mean,
you on your end naman?
for me, like, yeah, like going, sorry, I'm gonna throw it back to questions na parang how did you improve
Go.
whatever. Pero
Okay,
yeah,
go.
same context. Like, syempre nung una, I didn't want to be hard on myself kasi nga it's the first time for everything. But eventually, like as we kept going, syempre we'd get more comfy sa camera, ganyan. Or like we'd have a feel as to what our reports would be, ganyan. I feel like nakatulong yung, yeah, watching it back,
Mm.
talking to especially the veterans like sila Jana, Carla, Allison, um, and also yeah, like knowing whose opinions matter. So I remember like after the first game, I asked Boom, I asked Sam like, "Kamusta? What else can I do?" Our floor directors they would give us pointers to. I would talk with Sir Miko and ask him then like, parang I remember one time after my game I was like, Sir Miko, do you have time? Like, I just want to ask you about a lot of things. Like, ang dami kong tanong, ang dami kong apprehensions. And then we literally just sat down there for like 30 minutes. And inisa-isa ko yung concerns ko sa kanya. I was like, I don't know if I should do this or do that. Like, I won't say it all na. It's very niche courtside stuff. I'm like, nagkamali po ba ako sa report ko here? Like, is my content wrong? Yeah, like a lot of it. Like, I just literally poured my heart out sa kanya. And he responded so well. And parang I was like my fears and my worries were very calmed after that conversation. And I'm just so grateful na we have people like that to guide us. Because as I said, like who's gonna tell you if you're doing a good job? There's no report card in
Yeah,
courtside
there's no
reporting.
grades. There's
Yeah.
Like,
great.
to each their own. And kasi, as much as, kunwari, like, delivery skills or writing skills, we're all writing about a different team anyway. So how can you compare if,
Yeah.
if you're doing good or not? Kasi iba-iba naman kami ng environment. You know what I mean? I feel like as Courtside, we're like two people. Like, yeah, we are sisters. Like, we're the ninth team. But also, we're also with our team. And with that,
Yeah.
like, we have the duality na you have to be, in order to do your job well. The balance of it, ganon.
Yeah.
And then to answer the attention, whatever
Yeah,
thing,
the attention, yeah.
I think, I mean, ako, so far, like, ano ba? Yeah, I also I don't engage. Like, if it's, parang not boundary friendly, I don't engage talaga. And stranger danger online, very much
That's true.
real. Yeah,
Mas
parang,
dumami. I'm sure for both of you, times 2, times 10, ever since the whole season started.
not really. I mean, not so much. Yeah, pero parang we just have to be cautious, I think. Parang
Okay.
you can't assume naman na, whoa, like, everyone wants to message me or something. But, like, you have to be, careful
Careful.
with everything. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Wait, I'm sorry.
Go
Go
lang, go
ahead.
lang.
I can always cut this out. This is not a live stream.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's true. You just have to compartmentalize. Um, and because like I was able to talk to yeah, it's good to talk to your predecessors because they know
Mm-mm.
more or less the overall
Predecessor.
culture. Like it might not be same like players, but this is something that I've seen when I've observed the UAP because I watched it since I was like a baby. So,
A
you
baby
know,
girl.
Oh,
baby
baby.
girl. So like the overall vibe kind of stays the same. Even though palit yung coach, palit yung
Mm-mm.
team captain, it's more or less that essence is the school's essence. And I feel like
Mm.
that's why the UAP is so special. And so I was able to talk to Franny Reyes, who was
Mhm.
season 81 and 82. And so she told me parang for reports, the best thing to do is root it in a main thought. So when you're on cam, you know, because you can think of the most poetic way to say something. And I remember I did this. I was like, wow, this is a really poetic way to say something. And I forgot what I was supposed to say. Like you kind of black out when you stare into the abyss of the camera, the
It's
black
so
hole of
big pa, no? Kasi ang laki ng hawak eh. The guys like
yeah.
holding
And
it
so
like
you're
this,
like,
right? Or they set it up.
yeah, and so you're like, so if the main thought is good, like you can say, let's say for Ateneo, at coming into season 87, this is the first time they're coming into a season without a finals appearance. So that's the main thought. The team is hungry. So you can just instead of like coming up with a dramatic sentence, you can be like, this team is hungry, right? So as a viewer, you're like, oh, okay, that's where the team's head is at. Because at the end of the day, you're communicating to the viewers at home.
Yeah.
Parang,
Did she
and
get
another
lost?
good thing to do
Yeah.
Wait,
is
you
like
girl,
have
you got
rapport
like you
with the
got cut for
panel.
like a
So if they
Nakala ko,
say
second.
I thought it was
something,
my internet. I thought it was my
Rocio,
internet.
Rocio, you
Kasi
got cut for like
2 seconds? 2, 3
oh
seconds?
no,
hello,
is she cutting now?
hi.
You cut again. You're
Okay,
back.
there.
Okay, go.
Okay, my Wi-Fi is back. I think they turned it on and off. That's why someone came in. They were like, yung Wi-Fi,
We're gonna turn it off.
but now
That's
Wala.
fast, ah.
I
It
was like, what do you
rebooted fast, ah.
mean?
Diba
Keep
usually it's
going.
like 30 seconds. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Wait, where did I stop? Sorry.
Yun nga, wait lang.
But
Yeah, where are we? We're super in with...
mm,
Don't worry, I'm gonna
so yeah,
cut
parang
Ate
this.
keep the thought.
Franny.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
Ate
Franny
Keep your
Franny.
Reyes.
hungry
Yeah, yeah.
thought.
The
Ganon.
Yeah, so
poem,
it's
like
like
poetic thought, like poetic.
yeah, so if you have a
Wait.
poetic if you have a good thought is better than like a poetic sentence.
Yeah.
Because like one time I was like, oh my god, this is such a poetic way to say something. And then I was like reading it and I was like, wait. Then I blanked. You know when you're staring into the abyss, the black hole abyss of the camera, you're like, wait. And so I realized it's just better to be more direct. Like let's say an example would be Ateneo, right? Coming in from season 86, it was the first time they didn't have a finals appearance in X amount of years. Parang that's the main thought, right? So instead of saying something super poetic, you can be like, this Ateneo team is hungry. 'Di ba? It's super direct, but as a viewer, you're like, oh, I understand where the the
context.
mindset of the context and mindset of the team is at, rather than being like da 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 fancy sentence structure, diba? Because again, it has to be conversational. Because at the end of the day, you're talking to diehard UAP fans watching TV, diba? So they want to feel that they're also in on what's going on, and they want to be able to understand. You
Yeah.
at the end of the day, your job is communication. So you have to communicate in the most effective way. So that's kind of how I approach my reports now. It's more of main thought and then how to make it conversational rather than like fancy long words. Yeah.
I love it. I love the change and the growth na rin from the first game to the last. I told you this before. Okay, I thought we lost
Yeah.
Rocio again. I was like, wait.
Hello?
She's
Okay, no,
back.
sorry. I'm like worried. I was okay.
No, no,
Anyway,
you're
yeah,
good. You're good.
You're good. You're good. How about you,
okay,
Jules?
okay.
Is
Just
that
make
from your first report to the last? Did you change it? That's my question, right? Like, yeah, did you change
Yeah, I
anything?
think what changed is my asking. Parang, I think kasi what happened was, syempre nung una, super, ano talaga, like I would record my interviews, like, I
Okay.
still pre-write my questions naman. Pero ngayon kasi, like I tried, like towards the end, na conversational na lang. Because some of the other girls, they don't record at all. As in, usap lang pure. And
Usap
I
lang.
was like, matry ko nga to. So one time in training, I interviewed like 6 of them. And I was like, oh, I'm trying something new today. I'm not gonna record your interviews, ganun. And napansin ko, mas relax sila pag wala yung phone or
Yung
walang
nakaganon.
recording. Yeah, like they're just chill. But the thing is, like,
that's
I like recording then kasi may quotes. Like, you can directly quote it. But then,
Yeah.
ayun, I just like how more conversational it is. I feel like that's the main change for me. Also, I need to drink water because I'm sick right now.
Go drink. Go drink. Pwedeng pwede.
I'm so sorry.
No, dude, like this
Ayun.
is it's true. Like, I
Next
just
topic
imagine if
na.
we did this live, we'll just be like, nah, just do
I'd be
whatever you want.
dying. Like, for real. I am dying. Wait lang.
Is it like the walking flu pneumonia thingy? Did you get that, Rocio? Like, people have been getting sick daw, ah. I think I got sick na last month. I think we all got sick last month.
like my whole house got super duper sick. But I got sick. When did I get sick? I got sick right after we lost. I don't know if it was like a
Which one?
emotional thing.
UP?
I'm so
Yeah,
sorry,
that
friend.
manifested into a physical thing. I was like, I don't feel
I
well.
usually don't get sick then. But this year, I keep getting sick na. Like, it's so bad. That's why I need to, like, rest like
Beroka
crazy.
strepsils. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why that's another thing. If you
Hmm.
want to, you can't like, and we talked about this. I think we were talking to when we had like our dinner with the other correspondents. We called it the correspondence dinner, and we were like, yeah, like we don't go out
Mm-mm.
because the adrenaline high you get from reporting, then parang you're so tired after.
It
Like you have,
drains you talaga.
yeah, like all my friends are like, where are you? And so I'm like, sorry. And like one time it was my friend's birthday, so that was like the one time I went out. I
Mm.
was like, I'm never doing that again for the rest of the season because I was so sick. I remember it was second round UE. I I had no voice. I woke up with no voice and a fever. And then it was a Wednesday. I walked all the way to the bus, which is like deep in Ateneo. I was like, I I felt like a Victorian ill baby. And then we picked up the team because they were staying somewhere near MOA. I think it was also like team building ish. And so I was like that. And we were all walking in, and I was like, and like the managers were like saying hi. I was like, so the only time I really spoke was during reports, and then after that we had to shoot like videos for CDC. So
Oh, that's
I
the day I
was
saw you. That was the day I saw
yeah,
you. Were like,
yeah, I was like, I can't talk. So you really have to make sure that you have a good sleep schedule. You're eating your greens. Like during that entire time, like I had salad like 3 times a week or 4 times a week. Just so I have like the nutrients and fiber. Because you
Yeah.
really it's draining, and if you're not healthy, you're gonna die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nung una nga, I would gaslight myself din. Na parang, why are you this tired? You're just talking. Like, they're literally playing. Like, they're running across the court.
Yeah.
Like, I would gaslight
Gaslight.
Yeah.
myself pa. And then until hindi ko na
Grabe.
kinaya. Like, I was like, wait. And the thing is, like, I have a good sleep schedule, I'd like to think. Pero after the game, manalo kami or matalo, I am literally on the floor of my room. Nakahiga lang ako. Because parang, it's too much. Like, the thing is, kasi when you're there, whatever happens during the game, whatever your players feel, you absorb. I don't know, for me, I absorb it. I think
Yeah.
that goes, I don't want to say naman na all of us do, but especially at first, I was so emotionally attached to the energy in the room, kumbaga. So, kunwari matatalo kami, I'd get shaky na when I report or after a
Or
Oh,
you're
long.
not
really? It
smiling.
affects your.
Yeah, it literally everything affects us. And yun nga, like I would just like lie down on my floor. Like, I'm just like on call with my boyfriend, like on the phone or with my parents, like, Mom, Dad, this happened and this happened, blah 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 blah. Like you just need to put that energy out somewhere. You need to process it because if not, like you're just gonna store that adrenaline like within you and it's very bad.
Yeah,
Kasi
because it will manifest in other ways.
yeah, so
And
you
you'll
have
be
to
in a
move
bad
on
mood.
agad, like
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
that. Ayun.
Yeah. No, like what I did second round, I'm like so excited. Like what Jules said, parang like they're running for 2 hours and you just talk for 4 minutes. Why are you like I would gaslight myself too. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like calm.
Yeah.
I'm really hard on myself too. And I feel like we both are. So we kind of check check on each other. We're like, hey, no, rest. Which I love that you have those
Yeah.
sisters with you. But then there, so like I needed an outlet just to like release everything. So I started going to the gym. I was like,
Hey,
wow,
gym girl.
feeling athlete. And then I
Sponsored
was
yan.
talking to
Sponsored
one of
yan. Till December.
sponsored. And then so yeah, parang I was like, I needed that release. So like I would like do weights and like there's this thing where you do the sled push and then
Oh no,
the
she's cutting
weighted
out.
ball where you throw it. Like the pushing and the throwing, I was like, wow. I, hello, am I
You're
cutting out
Go
back,
ahead. Go.
again?
but then you cut
You.
out a bit.
Yeah.
Hello,
Pero reading
can you
naman
hear
like
me?
Yeah,
the
kind of.
pushing and the ball slams. I think
Ayan.
that's what you last said, right?
And the ball slam.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yung
So I
sa
really,
wall.
yeah, and it was so therapeutic. Or like if you run, because you have like so much unstored emotion. Like what Jules
Totoo.
said, you need an
The
outlet, whether
workout
that's
helps.
walking, talking to someone, disassociating and reading a book. You need to do it. Like it sounds dramatic, but if you don't do that for yourself, bad
And
things
ako lang,
happen.
Rocio, is it just me? I remember, like, one time, umuwi ako galing practice. Tapos
Mhm.
I saw how hard they were working that day. So I was like, you know, when I get home, I will work out. Like, parang I was gonna delay my workout for another day pa. Tapos,
Nakaka-motivate ba? Seeing them
yeah, like,
work hard. I
nakaka-motivate
gotta do
seeing them
something.
run like hell on the court. You're like, okay, me too. So you put on your
Yeah.
earphones and then you start, like, you know, you start pumping. It's really,
Yeah.
it's so
That's
fun.
and I think it's like that theory, like you are the five people you hang out with the most.
Oh,
Parang when you're
And
there
we
you
hung
go.
out
That
with them the
one.
most. So
yeah, parang it
nakaka-motivate
kind of rubs
mag-workout
off on
because
me
you're with
then eh.
athletes.
Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah, parang it rubs off on you then. So and then yeah, because Coach Tab's like really into health. So also that parang I was like, okay, I'm gonna eat healthy now also. And then the managers were like, okay, we're gonna eat healthy. Tapos I'd bring cake the next day and then everyone ate the cake. I was like, I never mind.
Someone sabotaging their their fitness level.
Yeah, and then one time I brought decadent chocolate cake. And so Coach Tab has like these challenges in practice. So Coach Tab was like saying, oh no, if you won the challenge, puede. But like if you didn't, no cake for you. But during the Christmas party yesterday, everyone had cake. So they were
Wow.
all happy.
Oh, you brought cake ba for the whole squad? Because it's the players and coaches, diba? That Christmas
Yeah,
party.
yeah. Yeah, we were around like third and then also management, coaching staff. So we were a lot. So I brought cake and yeah, they were happy. So
I still want that
hello.
cake.
Oh
Same.
yeah, dude.
Same.
Nana,
I
joke
was
lang.
Well, is it your nana ba who makes the cakes?
You know, I had
It's
the
her
privilege of
recipe.
meeting
It's her,
Nana one time in Starbucks, and we just made cuento, like we knew each other for a bit. Best.
yeah, no, and she was like, after we were riding the car, she's like, I like Jules. She's fun to make kwento with. She's like, I treated her to
Aw,
Starbucks. I was
cute.
like,
I
oh,
know.
okay. So
I was
yeah.
so
But
shy, but I was like, oh my god, like, I feel like she was gonna get mad. She's like, what do you want? And I'm like, okay lang po, I'm okay. And she's
oh,
like,
Okay lang po.
yeah,
like she was like gonna get mad. I was like, yeah, and I was like, just say it, just say it. Yeah, so funny.
yeah. She just likes to be everyone's nana. So she likes the
Yeah,
grandma.
she's the best.
Yeah.
Cute.
Yeah.
Well, for that one, now that the basketball season is over, is there any lesson that you guys like took with you after everything? Now that you've been able to post process and everything, or something that just stuck
No
with you
stress.
after?
Hmm? Lesson.
I think it really goes back to again setting good boundaries. I
Okay,
feel
that's
like
true.
that's the most important thing. And learning how to read people. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
now, like
Reading
my
people.
intuition, like when I meet someone, I'm like, okay, so that's what you're about. Like not in a bad way, not in a good way, but it's more of again, you need I don't know a better word than timpla. You need to make it
Tama. That's
timpla.
perfect
You
word.
need to figure out, oh, okay, like what are your expectations of me? What are my expectations of you? And for in a working relationship, and like how do you meet in the middle and how do you communicate that in a respectful way but in a very strong way. That's something super important that I learned. And also just being prepared for anything. No matter how prepared you are, you'll never be fully prepared. And so it's that parang mentality of yes and so yes, this happened,
Mm.
and then what do I do next? Because so many things will be thrown at you, so you just need to be able to learn how to adapt, but again with those boundaries in place. Yeah.
Oh, I have 3 points.
He
Number
had 3 points.
Yeah.
number
But
Very
can you
one.
important.
share? Do I give you the sharing rights in this
No.
in Zoom?
Number one, same as Rocio, like, matututo ka magbasa ng people. Kasi there came a point na towards, siguro, basta round 1 to round 2, like, going into round 2, nababasa ko na sila.
Mm.
Like, even if they don't talk, I know. Like, and I tell them that. I'm
Yeah.
like, even if you told me you were ganito, you weren't. I know it. And I was right. Parang ganon. So, it's so cool na kasi you're always with them. You can pick up their nonverbal cues right away. So, I mean, at least basketball-wise. Like, that's, syempre hanggang basketball, like, no, I don't know what's happening with their personal lives, but, basketball-wise, like, after a game, before a game, ganyan. Second is, I think my lesson is energy expenditure.
Ooh.
Like, how to manage your energy is so important. Kasi nga yun nga, like, my energy would mauubos siya because I was so emotionally attached. And it would affect my job. But I was happy because by the end of round 2, like, even if we lost our last 3 games, parang I knew I was composed naman. I was more composed than I was. So I was proud of myself for that. And yun nga, like, going out, and that's just not for reporting, like, going out with your friends, parang choosing, it's so Atenean, this life-giving, life-depleting. For the Ateneans who are watching, they would know that yung, what is life-giving to you? What is life-depleting? That's something they always tell us in high school, like Ateneo Senior High. So you really need to know what takes and what boosts your energy, whether that's self-care, like choosing your friends, all of those things. And then lastly, my last major lesson, it's not really a lesson, but
Mm-hmm.
something I valued more. Kasi ever since naman before, madaldal naman ako eh. Like, that's valid. But then now kasi, the things you know, the people you talk to, that holds weight. Dati yung, like, dati like, it's just my barkada. It's just about my personal life. Now, it's something bigger than you. It's other people. Like, you're holding their stories. You're holding their hearts a bit, like on the court, in your hands. And my main lesson is the trust. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they need to be able to trust you And you need to be able to trust them then, na parang it's a mutual respect, it's a mutual trust thingy. Apart from just communicating well. Like, I feel like dun talaga dun yung, not naman labanan, pero I feel like that's the core of being a reporter then. Parang if you get their trust, and you trust them na, like they will take care of you, they will treat you well, it's gonna go great. Like you guys, it will be smooth. Like walang nagkakailangan or anything. Like good vibes kami. Parang ganon. So I think those are my main lessons. And yeah, like it's the gravity of it all. Like it's not just myself anymore. Like it's very kumbaga high stakes things that we need to do in
Yeah.
our job, and we need to really value our role, our knowledge, and everything. Yeah, yun lang. Wah, so deep. For what?
Miss Universe candidate number 5, everybody. Well, for that one, do you guys have any like I love first of all, I love the stories. I love the stories. I love the things that you guys shared here regarding the lesson because I'm sure that like future CSRs would be listening to this, considering that I'm sure you all did your research. You try to check on YouTube, check on Facebook, not Facebook, sorry, YouTube. Like aside from messaging or stalking other profiles, it's just you really do your own research at the end
Yeah.
of the day, and I feel like this would really help all those future people in the future people, those people in the future. It's in the morning. This is how my mind works sometimes. And with that one, guys, like, do you have any like favorite story from behind the scenes working with the team, like in practice, something that you can pick one? It can be one, can be two, can be three,
Like
something that.
story. Like I can't say like a general parang, oh, like pag nagkukulitan kami, ganon. Like,
Pwede,
Like
asahan.
a specific.
pwede. Pwede namang specifics better. Or maybe,
I'm trying to think lang because there are a lot, but it's more of like I'm trying to pick. Cause like
mhm.
yeah, I'm trying to think.
Okay, I'm gonna cut the dead time. I'm gonna cut it.
Okay.
Wait, while you're thinking, I'm just gonna drink water again. Because as
Go
I said,
ahead. Did you get the flu ba, Jules? Yung that
I'm not
walking
sure
pneumonia
eh. I
thingy.
think, yeah, it's been yeah, like I drank like so much meds na. For real.
Like
I still don't.
Baroka, mga ganon.
Yeah, like antibiotics, ganon.
Wow,
Oh my god.
antibiotics. You had to resort to antibiotics?
Yeah, parang basta like binigyan ako ng antibiotics and like 2 other like meds for this. So I was like, okay. I feel like patupas naman na. It just has to like get out.
Fully.
Yeah.
Times you have to sleep it off, diba? Parang when I'm
I
sick,
guess.
I'll sleep for like 12 hours straight. Like I'll like wake
Oh,
up in
talaga.
between and then like just go back to sleep.
I should do that.
Um yeah. I'm trying to think. Um
Stories.
stories.
Or if not stories,
I'm
just
trying to
maybe
think
like
of
your
one that
favorite.
I'm not gonna get mad if I make it
Oh
kwento.
no,
Just
Yeah,
not
you're
because it's
choppy
bad,
for
but
a
just because
moment.
they're all shy.
Oh, can you repeat that, Rocio? Yeah, you were
No,
cut
I'm
the whole time.
oh okay. No, I'm
Okay, now
trying to
you're
think.
good.
Okay, slay. No, I'm trying to think lang what they're because like they're very shy. So if I make kwento something, they'll be like, "Why did you say that?" Not
Yeah,
in a way,
maybe
but more of just like they get yeah.
ito na lang, favorite parts of practice. Like favorite, yung for Jules, di ba? Pwede niya sabihin yung sa kulitan during that time. So what kind of kulitan? Well, for you, is it the, like when the practice is over, you guys hang out or something? Like you guys have dinner ba after? So yun na lang. Kasi if it's too specific, baka hindi pala, they don't like it pala na, oh, I thought it's gonna be between us lang pala.
Okay. Okay, so for me, I think after practice when because we all have dinner together. So
Okay.
like yeah, so but usually I'll sit with the managers because again I'm also working as a manager. But like after they eat, usually I'll like call them one by one, or if they want to go in groups. Cause like I noticed this with the team. Parang each of them have like a best friend on the team.
Ah,
And
okay.
they're always like together. It's so cute. Oh my god. But they all parang have a best friend or like a group of three. So I'll usually interview them like that.
Mm-mm.
Sometimes I'll interview like the whole like I'll interview a whole table one time after practice, like um they were just all there, so I ended up talking to like six of them at once, and they were like, oh my god, yay, like that. And so there, it's nice to talk to them like in that setting. And
Mhm.
sometimes I'll ask quirky questions. I'll be like, if you could switch a body with if you could exchange bodies with anyone on the team for one day, who would it be and why? Right? And then so you kind of get to see the personality. Like some of them were like, "Oh, I want to be this guy because he's really tall, and I want that like height advantage." Some of them are like, "Oh, I want to be this guy because he's really buff, and my dream is to have really defined abs." And I'm like, "Ah, okay. So you're funny, you're very serious. Parang you get the vibe, diba?
Mhm.
Or like to understand that dynamics better. Like, and I did this for the social media. So also like, Atenean fans of the men's basketball team know like, oh, if you were stuck on a desert island, who would you want to be stuck with and why? And so one time I was like, oh, I'll interview, and then one of the players was like, oh, I'm tired today, and then one of the other players was like, oh no, the questions are fun, you have to do it. And then parang his face lit up. He was like, oh, okay. And so I was like all interviewing them, and the entire team was behind me, and they were all like making kulit, or they were all like trying to do goofy things. So I really love that when they engage with the content I'm trying to produce for the community, because wala lang, it's like it's more authentic. That's such a cheesy thing to say for a content creator, authenticity, but like it's really true. Like when they do engage and when you do invest, it it's really different. Not information, but the content you get. It's the quality's so different. So yeah,
Fun
Yeah, I think
times.
that's about it. Fun time.
without sharing too much.
For me, ano ba? Like, okay, I say kulitan, but
Okay.
basically our kulitan is asaran lang, slight. Like, they're like, I won't drop names.
Yeah,
Para they're
yeah,
like
no
sometimes
problem.
parang, Jules, like a player asked me, Jules, gets mo ba yung place namin? And I was like, Medj? And then like, one other player started laughing. Kasi Nico gets. Kasi it's so many, they have so many plays. Like, how do you expect me, a bystander, to know everything, diba? So that's funny. Or like, one time I brought donuts. One player was like, Jules, pa-drink ka naman. And I was like,
Padringan.
anong drink? Like, may tubig dyan. Serve yourself. Ganon. Yung ganong asaran. Like, that's what I mean. Na we're goods enough to, like, na they make fun of me and I make fun of them, vice versa. So, yeah, I think that's it. For me, okay na yun sa akin. Like, that's, parang, but I just know na, like, they're good with me, I'm good with them. Like, we just have that, like, silent understanding na we're all fine. Like, there's nothing more I can ask. And also, yeah, I talk with the coaches and Coach Jeff, the assistant coaches, and ayun, like, inaasar din nila ako. So, sinasagot ko yun sila. Kasi nga, like, I'm the only girl. Like, yeah, as Rocio said, like, ikaw lang talaga yung babae doon. So, super um, hindi naman
The
Intimidate?
nakakaiba.
energy is different.
Yeah, it's just different. Na you're the
Mm.
only girl. And I think what
Yeah.
also helped, shout out talaga to NU's media team, the National and 551. I'm so lucky na I was able to be friends with them. Kasi tuwing game, they're there. So I literally say, I feel like sila yung classmates ko pag may game. Because yeah, I'm not from NU, but I am, like, I know their schoolmates. I'm reporting for their teams. So having like, their photographers, their writers, and they're like my actual friends. Like, even on CDC, we had a showcase. Sorry, I'm saying CDC. I know this is
Oh,
basketball, but
that's actually my next like perfect transition.
oh
You
wow,
I like how you
amazing.
guys are doing my job for me.
Who
So
would
go
have
ahead.
thought? But yeah, they were there. Like the media team, they were there, and I was running my spiels in NU, and I was asking them for feedback. I sent them my crowd check, ganyan. So super nakakatulong lang na I know they're there for me. Um, and sila yung national yan. So if I do have to fact check anything NU knowledge-wise, I don't do it alone. Like, I don't have, kasi sometimes, the players, I respect their time. Like, syempre, busy, pagod, draining. And so, yeah, like my
Cool
next
pa.
go-to, yeah, are the media team of NU. So that really helped. So, pag-practice lang ako technically mag-isa. Pero during the game, like, andyan na yung media team. So, nagchichikan kami in the CR or like, we chat, ganyan. I'm like, oh, are you guys going to school? I'll be there, ganyan, ganyan. So, yeah, that really helped a lot. I think I strayed. I'm so sorry. Like, with
No,
the
tama lang.
favorite practice, whatever.
Yeah, actually, you said it na, but you just like added something. So I'm like, all right, you
Yeah.
answered the question already. But we were already talking about CDC. So sakto, you opened up that conversation. So how was that like preparing for CDC? Is it like completely different animal when it comes to preparing for a game? Would you say it's harder, or would you say it's the same but just a different kind of approach?
You have to have your energy like more. Cause like while you are, I like to say that like being a correspondent, like you're
I'm
kind
so
of a
sorry, my guy.
hypoman. Go lang. You're kind of like a hypoman for the school, you're trying to amplify
Mhm.
what the culture is, what the mindset is. But for CDC, it's like times 10. Parang you're part, for Ateneans, parang you're part of Babel. Or for Lasallians, you're part of the Animo Squad. Parang
Mm.
you're like, hello! Or like, you need to know the cheers. You need to feel it. And cause like, again, if you're like if you're gonna do this crowd check for like UST, FEU, NU, like though it's a different crowd, but it's a very very intense crowd. And so I was like, okay, how do I hype up the sliver of blue in that big arena, right? So for me, my approach was like, okay, just pretend you're Taylor Swift. Parang, you gotta feel yourself a bit when you walk. You have to like it. You feel kind of ridiculous practicing it the first few times in the mirror, but once you have a good hype song in and you know what you're gonna say, because it's a performance. It's about
You
like
did a cartwheel, by
this is
the
another.
way.
No what?
Yes, which I still don't have
Rocio,
video of.
you
So
did
if
a
anyone has
cartwheel.
a video.
Oh yeah, the cartwheel.
Yeah. So there, it's just you have to have fun with it. And that's something Nico told us, one of our mentors. He was like, you're not reporting on like serious things. It's a basketball game. It's supposed to be fun. So if you feel yourself getting too serious, like, just remember, sports is fun. It's entertainment. Whether whether it's like CDC or basketball or volleyball, the main objective is enjoyment, diba? Because while it's stress, it's serious work. It's enjoyment. So you gotta enjoy it. Parang that's the approach. And yeah, just pretend you're Taylor Swift. Parang you're like, you have to walk and like strut a bit. It's funny, but yeah.
I love that reminder. Same with CDC. I mean, honestly, like when I first got courtside, my major fear was CDC. Like it was not
Really?
even basketball or
Yun yung
volleyball.
una
It
mong
was like,
inisip, pero shit,
yeah, I was like,
CDC.
oh my God, like no, like obviously it comes with a job, and I think that's the job that I'm least prepared to do. Like I feel, kasi it's like yeah, I was preparing with Jana of Adamson from Adamson. She's a course head of Adamson. And then I was just telling her like it's just 5 lines. Like you just have to say and scream those 5 lines. And then I was like downplaying it in my head na parang MOA Arena, that's your school gym. Like that is just it. Like 5 lines in a school gym. Like how like okay, kaya mo yan, ganon. But yeah, but it's crazy, kasi when the cameras are on you, I don't think na this is going out on TV. I just think it's a camera.
Huh.
Like, because I
Yeah.
have a YouTube channel, so I have a vlog camera. For me, it's my vlog camera. Like, okay, it's just, yun nga, it's a black screen, whatever. Pero
Yeah.
di mo
Yeah.
maiisip na, oh my gosh, like may mga nanonood pala talaga sa TV. Like, like that's when it like, oh shit, like,
Did you
Yeah.
try to block
it's
that off na,
real.
okay, block that off. Or you
Yeah.
wanted to be more aware na may nanonood?
Yeah,
No.
I
You don't want to be
parang
aware.
half-half. You know
Yeah.
may nanonood, but you don't really like think about that. Because if you think
Okay.
about it more, you're gonna crumble.
Yeah,
Yeah.
parang when you, cause I'm an overthinker. Like,
Okay.
this is how I am. I'm very meticulous with the way I think about things. Like whether it's like school, I'm like, oh my god, what do I have to do? I have like my Google Calendar, I plan it all out. Or like if there's like something I'm going through, I try to like analyze it from all perspectives. Like I'm obsessed with like little niche things like, I love dystopians, I love mythology, and I like to overthink in those like imaginary worlds, but you cannot do that on live television or you're
Oh,
gonna
you
go.
cannot.
And so I feel like it's the same, like the mindset in terms of like what when you're actually producing the content or you're talking, it's like TikTok in that, oh, I'm just talking to a tiny screen.
Yeah.
And you
Because
can
like if
cut it. But here kasi,
you can't. So you
like,
have,
Wala nang backseas eh. Whatever we say,
yeah.
oh shit, it's out there na.
yun na yun.
Yeah, and so it's more, yeah, that mentality of yes and parang yes, this happened and how do I move forward, 'di ba? So,
I love it. And for that one, I wanted to ask this kanina, but I forgot about it, but now I remembered it. What is a bad report from a good report? Or rather, tell me your worst report. What was your worst report to your best report? What is your what do you say what are your characteristics to categorize it
I
in
can
those
answer
boxes?
because I'll
Go.
never forget my worst report.
Okay,
Um,
what's your worst report?
so my worst pregame report was second round UST. I'm so scared that people are gonna search it up and wanna watch it. But
Nah, it's
I
okay.
said
Just own it. You got better already. It's all part
anyway,
of
so
the
I was like,
process.
because I wanted to say that complicated thing
Okay.
and I lost my train of thought. So I was like, oh my God. And then one time I it was something with the Pilipinas live spiel. I was like,
Mhm.
because I usually like I have a paper for it and it was just gone. So I was like, and that gave me so much anxiety. So after that, it was like one of our first games in the second round. After that, I was like, okay, this is never happening again. So I memorized the spiel. And whenever I memorize the spiel, I'm like, I don't know, my confidence level shoots up. I don't know what it is. I think it's also because like when I was a kid, I did theater. So
Mhm.
it's like the comfort of memorizing lines before doing something. Parang it just comes more naturally if I have the security blanket or knowledge of like, oh, I know what I'm gonna say anyway. So my best report, I feel, would be either second round LaSalle or second round UP, like our last
Okay.
game. Because I knew the weight and how much it meant to the team. So I really made sure I got the right bits of the story, but also made it like anecdotal in a way that would be relatable for the like people watching. So like for
Mhm.
LaSalle, I remember I'm pretty sure it's LaSalle. I could be wrong. If I am, I'm sorry. But it was like parang Coach Tab was like, whatever you don't want to do, that will get us this win, you have to do it. If there's an ice bath you don't want to take, you have to take it. If there's healthy food you don't want to take, you're gonna eat it. Parang, it was like that level of intensity. So stuff like that you wouldn't hear in a press con. Parang I was like, oh my god, this is good. I want to put this here. And then for the UP game, because it's a heartbreaking game, but it was also the gravity of the situation. Parang Coach Tab said something like we might not see each other next week. you know do you want that, do you not want that? And it was a lot of them asking these questions, so put stuffing that into a report was really nice because it was kind of sentimental as well. Yeah.
For me, my worst. I don't want to say my worst report, but I feel like
Okay.
it's not nice kapag agit nga ako. Like, I'm so kinakabahan kasi we're losing or something.
Mm.
I think we were losing to LaSalle nung second round. And I accidentally said, like, back to you, Nico and the panel.
Oh, Miko,
And the
I didn't
panel
catch that,
meant
ah.
the other one was Diego, like the other
Diego,
panel was
Dario.
Diego Dario. And he always teases me na, So now when we see each other, we're like, hi panel. Congrats
Hi,
panel. Yeah, like kasi kasi nga nagkamali ako. So that was like the moment that I knew like you know that all like you knew you effed up ganun. That was my moment. But apart from that, I think worst reports. I don't know. I feel like I don't wanna say na best kasi parang yun nga like Rocio said kanina, feel mo may mahihigitan mo pa eh. But I feel like I really liked my first round LaSalle. That's so bad. Like, oh, she peaked at first round LaSalle report. But parang I really liked my delivery. I think a good report kasi is one that you parang memorize well and that you're confident with. I like ending my like Rocio, diba? You're like, oh, the fancy's fancy, whatever. Ako sometimes I like ending my reports with a strong end.
Yeah,
Like
like
I
a
remember my
quote.
last my
Yeah.
last first round report was Adamson.
Mhm.
And at the time we were at a winning streak. Like our only loss in first round was UP. That's it. So I was like, oh my god, parang I wanna say something very oomph, like with a star factor. Kasi my team is doing well. So I was like, gusto
Mhm.
ko pantayan yung energy nila. So I ended that report with, I remember si Jana kasama ko nun. And I was running lines through her. And then you're like, what? Parang sometimes masyadong poetic yung words ko. And Jana would like straight up na, "Oh, no, like that's not a good report moment. Or parang it doesn't flow well. But I
Mm.
ended my Adamson with, the NU Bulldogs didn't come this far just to come this far. Parang ganon. Like,
Oh, I
I
watched
like,
that. I watched that and I was like,
yeah.
I
I
was
like
like,
it
May
when I
oomph yun ah.
insert
May
those.
weight yun
I was
ah.
actually looking at my notebook earlier when Rocio was. This is my very sentimental best friend. Yeah,
no,
but
same. My notebook holds a special place in my heart. I'm like,
yeah.
So you girls prefer talaga like written over sa phone? You just put your notes there. You prefer na you write it down on a notebook?
so when we had a workshop, they were like, don't write your reports on your phone.
Ah,
They were
okay.
like, do it on a notebook. Because if your phone dies, if it
Wala na.
malfunctions, wala na. So you can't,
Wala na.
the most reliable is really pen and paper. Yeah. Speaking
Yeah.
of first round reports, when I was coming into that second round and I was unhappy with that USD report, I was like, shoot, did I peak during
First
my
round.
first round, the
Did it?
Adams?
Ako
My
rin!
first
I was like, wait lang, what? That day kasi, nung Lasal, I got extra complimented. Like, oh, nice pregame, nice pregame. Tapos yung mga next, parang wala. So I was like,
So,
oh my god, like, did I flop? Like, am I in my flop era right now? Ganon.
oh,
Like,
dude,
real.
because
did I peak?
Yeah.
that heartbreaking loss against Adamson, I don't know why. It was just such a good report day for me. When I
Mm-mm.
went back into the prod room, they're like, good job, good job. I was like, what? And I was like sad because we lost. But I also think it was yun, parang just mentally you're in the right headspace. But then, oh my God, no. Second round of third game of Adamson. I was like, today may be the battle of the birds to see who's king of the sky.
Oh yeah, I
Like,
remember that
like that.
one.
Oh, punchy.
Na
I
ako
was
yun.
like, "Ooh." So you have fun with it. I feel like if you're into creative writing as a hobby, like correspondent correspondencing, courtside reporting would like you'll enjoy it once you
Yeah,
get
I
the
actually
hang
took
of
creative writing as an elective when I was in high school. Like
really.
Ateneo Senior High.
Hey.
So I think, yeah,
It
makes
helped.
sense.
It lumabas na like, oh yeah, that's why I took this elective. It came
Yeah,
out
because I
now.
always like this, like the writing part of life. And now
Yeah.
we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, with volleyball season in end of January, right?
Yes.
Not sure. Parang wala pang super set date. But,
Yeah. But around like early next year.
mm-mm.
Are you guys have you guys started preparing for that one na?
Um
Um,
a bit. Cause I know the managers for volleyball. Cause like
Ah,
the volleyball trains beside basketball. There's like a curtain. I don't know how to
oh yeah,
explain it.
yeah.
Sa Moro, yeah.
Yeah, Samora Lorenzo. So like I always see them, but I've never super interacted with them apart from their managers. But before our first round face-to-face auditions, I interviewed JLo, one of the volleyball players, because she was doing a PT session and I was with one of the players and managers because he was doing a PT session there. So he was able to introduce me to her. Um I don't know how they know each other, but yeah, so I was able to talk to her there. And then, yeah, it was really helpful. And so we're friends on Instagram. I'm planning on messaging her. If she watches this, but she probably won't. If she watches this, she's like, oh, okay, I'm going to expect the message. But that's another thing. Parang you just need to kind of, again, it's hard, but when you try to contact players, coaches, just don't be afraid. You can message them. Usually they reply because they know it's your job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just shouldn't be afraid of that. Yeah.
Ako naman, yeah, like I'm actually mutuals with some of my volleyball girls na even if I haven't
Okay.
met them. And that's why I'm like extra kilig. I'm like, like I haven't met you guys and ang galing nila. So I'm so excited. Actually, doon nakaka-prep. Like with NU, obviously I'm not their schoolmate, but I really do want to give them everything I have. Like I want to do justice to their teams and respect their hustle. So parang for me, there is that pressure. Like kunwari, CDC, we were the defending champions before, the season and we were still second place. So parang nape-pressure ako na, oh my gosh, they're like, maraming fans yung NU Pep Squad, ganyan-ganyan. And then even going to volleyball, marami rin. So like NU is such a good school, like very well-rounded sila when it comes to that. So parang I also can't, like I can't be caught lacking, like I need to know a lot, like I need to do my research talaga. And yeah, actually I've been watching like reports from last year, watching their highlights, like reading articles because they won the Shaky Super League preseason.
Oh yeah, so
Ano.
malakas pa rin NU heading into
Yeah, that's why I'm like, oh my gosh, like I need to like step up even more. And especially now na tapos na basketball season, we have that experience under our belt. Like I wanna do what I can. Actually, oh my gosh, can I share something? Like I forgot to say this. But like, I have a random share ko lang. I
Go.
think this really helped me know my basketball team. Kasi, diba, I had like 2 weeks to know them. On top of adjusting to my job. So like, what am I gonna do? So what I did was, I was on call with one of my college best friends and I was like, I'm going to practice later. What if I ask them to, I make a slam book worksheet, whatever. And so I did. Like, I really made it like, this is the worksheet.
Oh wow, meron nga slam book.
Yeah, for real, for real. Like, I have everything. Like, the title is Sino Ka Ba? And then, I asked them their position, jersey number, like, birthday. And then yung birthday, na I put a quote, natatandaan ko nung pinanganak ako, yun yung araw ng birthday ko. Like, super, like, I just made it super gago, if that, for lack of a better word. So, I think this really helped. Kasi, like, Rocio had, diba, you have a directory. But at
Yeah.
NU kasi, we don't have student managers. I was on my own. I had
Yeah.
to fend for myself. But yeah, like at least parang if Signal asks to bump a player or something, like I have their details or I know their birthday, so I'd bring treats for their birthdays, ganon, just a little something. Kasi
No,
nga
I
like
love bringing food to practice. I feel like that's something, parang when you bring food, they're like, thank you. And they feel, I don't know what it is, but it breaks a barrier and it bonds you. I don't know.
yeah, like one time I went and practice, medyo na late pa ako. They saw my hawak kong bag. They were all like, oh my gosh, like they were all clapping, like in the middle of conditioning, and I was like, ay nako, like what the heck, like you guys will just attack this food anyway, ganon. But
Ano sweets? Usually sweets ba yan?
yeah,
That
like
that makes them
cookies,
so
cakes,
happy.
donuts.
Okay.
But then I plan to make healthier stuff next year. Like for like if I'm gonna bring something to the volleyball girls, like I wanna up my baking game. I think Rocio, like Pat and I, we all talked about this with Chelsea. Na parang we all have different hats. Like we're prayer warriors, we're mothers, we're bakers, we're reporters, we're sisters. Parang that's what it feels like with a team. Like it's not just you're gonna talk, that's it. Like there's so much more behind the
That
scenes.
comes, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, you feel like a mother because there's no feminine energy there.
Yeah.
So,
Actually, that's why
parang,
they appreciate your presence there
Like a
talaga.
mom.
yeah. And then parang, I was talking to Kostabi, he was like, we're seeing you next year, right? I'm like, yes, I will. Are you talking about the manager job? I was like, yee! He's like, we need you. And then I brought cake. He was like, well, it was so funny because like he's a very, he's a very serious guy. And so I
Yeah.
bring cake, key lime pie, which is his apparently his like childhood favorite dish. And so he goes, give me 5. After like talking to the players really seriously, he was like, give me 5 and another 5. And I was like, and he was so happy. Everyone was like,
Besties.
what did you do? I'm like, we're just besties. What can I say?
I think that's an underrated relationship. Like I said, obviously people would expect you to be friends or at least be on good terms with your team. But
Yeah.
you with like your coach, like same, I brought cake. And then they gave one to Coach Jeff. Like parang sa kanya lang yun. And he messaged me,
Uh,
thank you, Jules. Like, tell your mom thank you. Ang sarap, ganon. And one time the boys were conditioning lang. And then I was just making kwento to Coach Jeff, like, about my UAAP stuff. Like, oh, coach, this is what I learned. This is what I saw. Like, this is what I feel. And then I could see the boys just looking at us. Parang siguro, ano ang pinag-uusapan nila? Kasi, yeah, like Coach Jeff super supportive. And, you know, because my boyfriend was a USTPT intern for a month, October. Coach Jeff told me, alam mo ba, hinahanap ko siya. Like, asan siya? And the other coaches were asking me, like, where is he? Like, we wanna meet him, ganon. So, you know, that support. And, you know, when we had a game in UST, the boys, inaasar nila ako, like, oh, Jules, home court mo to. Kasi my
oo nga
boyfriend's
pala
from
yung quad
UST.
pav. Oo nga pala.
Yeah, so I was like, ano na, like, oh, where is he? Like, is he watching? Ganon. So super, you know, like, yung bond na yun, like, or that thoughtfulness na they would associate that with you or like they know that much about you. Super, ano talaga, like, super nice. Or the coaches knew na it was finals. They were like, oh, I thought finals mo. Like, buti you made it today. Kamusta ka? Ganyan. Like, parang feeling ko I had like dads in the coaching staff.
Yeah,
They would
that's
like, I
true.
would have heart to hearts with like each one of them, like
Yeah,
in between
same.
practice, before the game, ganun.
Same. And they'll always like just ask how you are. And sometimes they'd also
Yeah.
bring food. And yun, because like there, you're the only girl. So they'll really make you
Alaga. Tama.
alaga. Like they'll really sorry. But they'll really take care of you. And it's super nice. Parang you feel like protected all the time
Yeah,
and
like as
protected.
much as it's a male-only place, they
Yeah.
treat you well. So parang you feel safe talaga. Yeah.
Yeah. And parang yun, you feel like family. Like that's a strong word, but it feels like family after a while because of the proximity and how much care they give you.
Mm. Yeah, actually, those are some really nice stories. Just to learn, like how you guys really got integrated to the team, especially yung mga stories in day one. No, na parang I just came in there, talked to 2 people, then I left. Then to the last part that really affects you, like every game, until the very last, and you can really see the difference on how everything changed. So last one here. Wow, it's
Okay.
almost 10.
Yeah.
Did being a CSR change your plans on what you guys want to do in life? Rocio, your diplomatics, Dip IR, Jules ITE, did it, like, honestly, did you think na, am I in the right course? Is this where I wanna be? Or no naman? Or it just gave you like a little something na maybe this could be a career?
Well, for me, I think like no lesson in life will ever be wasted because you can always use it. Like I never
Yeah.
thought, me in 8th grade doing theater would translate to me and my process for doing courtside reporting. Like I never would have made that connection or like the way I do timetables for my homework for like that, like pol sci classes. I never thought I would apply that structure to organizing the game days or organizing like my reports because it's like I do that. So whatever you learn, I think will bleed out into other ways because the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. Like it's not just the parang you do this and that's it in this specific aspect of your life. It bleeds out everywhere. So I think the discipline, the strong sense of self, I feel like that can go anywhere. For me, I don't like having a long plan just because
Okay.
of the thing we make plans and God laughs. And I feel like where I wanted to be specifically in high school, I wanted to go abroad. I wanted to be an environmental lawyer, which are all really noble pursuits. It's just, it didn't happen for me the way I
Mhm.
wanted it to. And so I feel like I'm not treating my major like, okay, I'm gonna be a diplomat only, but more of, oh,
Yeah.
I have this context about, in diplomatic and international relations. Maybe I could do marketing abroad, or I could apply it into a communications field where you have to be articulate, where you have to have good debate structure, right? So it's not more of shifting plans in so much as enhancing my stock knowledge on everything I've learned so far in
Yes.
life. And I'm only 20, so I don't know that much. But yeah.
Valid. I love it. You're so wise, Rocio. I was like, damn.
Oh,
Give
thank
her a
you.
I'm
mic.
also
She
speechless kasi
already
sabi ko,
does. Yeah, I'm like a moment of silence for all the wisdom that was just shared for now.
let her cook.
Yeah, let it be. For me, did it change my plans? Honestly, it did because I'm supposed to be graduating, but I'm not. So, bro, for one, that's the major plan, like immediate plan that changed. Because for context, to the people watching, I had to drop my Wednesdays and Saturday classes
Mm.
because I was batch two in Ateneo. And at the time, I didn't know if I made it or not. So, yeah, parang, we'll see. Yeah. So I'm extending a year. And in college, but I'm also just 20. So, kumbaga, I'm not, di ako nagmamadali. But then, I guess when it comes to, I've always wanted media.
Okay.
Like, I took creative writing class. I actually had 2 articles up in Youngstar when I was a freshman in college. Because I really like the writing, whatever. I interviewed like YouTubers and gamers. And then that was printed on the newspaper. And I was like, oh my God, I made it. I can die. But yeah, so I always want, and I have a YouTube channel, parang anything creative media wise. Like, I really love. Like, I love the conceptualizing content. Like, I actually had a podcast as a project for my home organization before. It's called Byte Camp. Kasi, yeah, for IT. Basta yun, it's like very niche. Like, I would just insert my media pursuits everywhere. And actually, I was praying about a media job last
Yeah.
year. I was like, Lord, parang matatapos na yung college. And I know there's really something about media na I love. And I feel like I'm gonna end college without having that. That's why when I saw UAP, I was like, I think this is it. Like, I think baka ito na yun. So yeah, like obviously I'm very happy and I'm being able to like do my media, like live out my media dreams of writing and speaking. But I also want to use my degree. I don't know where it will take me yet, but I feel like I'd love a best of both worlds approach na I'm in media, whether that be writing or reporting still, but I also am using my tech degree because it's very different. I feel like with tech, it's very challenging in terms of your innovation and creativity. Like it's very technical also, which I really love. But when it comes to writing kasi, it's very free flow. It's super qualitative naman. But I also like the technical aspect of tech and I can't let go of that fully. So yeah, that's how I see myself. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see where it goes, but I'm just happy those options are open. Yeah, that's all I can say.
I love it. And once again, Rocio and Jules, thank you so much for being part of this podcast. For making time, because considering that some of you are still finishing your last requirements. I think Rocio, not how about you, Jules? Are you done?
Yeah, I think I'm done, but I'm just very sick right now.
And and she even said 8 a.m. I would think that whenever you're sick, you would request like 11, 12, but 8 a.m. it is. And I really am just happy that the both of you made it. Actually, very last minute too. It's like last night, diba?
Mhm.
Can you
Yeah.
make it 8 a.m.? I'm like, great. I'm awake already by that time. And kidding aside, you can check this episode out on YouTube and on Spotify. And for those watching on YouTube, just like, comment, subscribe. Well, for Spotify, it's a 5-star rating. Just type Nico Rocha or 6 Man Podcast to see this episode. And once again, before that, where can they follow you, Rocio and Jules?
Oh, so you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I'm Rocio Trillo because my full name is Rocio Isabel. Yeah,
Ah, now I know.
No,
that's
the
why
more
there's
you
a
know.
Y.
I thought it was Spanish kasi, like,
Oh, like
Ako, Rocio
Rocio
E.
and
Yeah,
yeah,
Trillo.
Rocio
like,
E.
Rocio
Trillo,
and
right?
Trillo, yeah.
Oh.
Oh, because before it was Rocio Trill, but I was like, that's not my full name. So I was like, okay, I'll
Kulang na
put
ako.
like the Y for my second name.
Interesting. For me, you
Yeah.
can follow me on Instagram at Julian Israel with a Y and a double N. And then on TikTok, I'm just Julesy03. Yes. Thank you.
There you go. So once again, thank you so much, guys. And again, Spotify and YouTube. I think I'll have this uploaded Saturday evening na lang para people are home and stuff. So I have this uploaded Saturday evening. And yeah, thank you again.
Thank you for